Hey gang, how's it going? All right, I'm off to go see The Accountant.
Can our son lead a normal life?
Define normal.
I like the trailers. I like the sort of the low-key approach. I also really like the fact that it's directed by Gavin O'Connor. And if you're unfamiliar with Gavin O'Connor's work, he made a very underrated Western that came out this year after a lot of production hell. It was called Jane Got a Gun with Natalie Portman. I did a very early YouTube review of that film, so I will put a link of that review in the description below. He also directed a superb film with Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton called Warrior. Most importantly though, he directed the single greatest hockey film of all time in 2004's Miracle, which incidentally was the very first full print film review that I ever published to my site. It's got me right in the feels. However, the film also stars Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck is a guy who is so inordinately talented as a director and as an actor, yet he gets shit on by internet fanboys so incessantly.
What the fuck is the internet?
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together to bitch about movies and share pornography with one another.
You know, sometimes people just need to sit back, relax, and just remember these are just movies and they're just characters. It's not life and death.
Fictional characters. Fictional characters.
Yeah, seriously. I remember all the crap he went through when he was being cast as Batman a couple years ago, and all the trolls online were like, this is the worst decision of all time. This is going to destroy the very fabric of the DC cinematic universe. And he proved them all wrong because he was the best part of that whole damn movie.
What's up now?
All right. So, yeah, I really like the combination of Affleck and O'Connor here. So, yeah, I'm very excited to see this movie. So I'm heading off to the cinema right now. I'll be back with a review. Holy crap, I just got out of The Accountant, and it just dawned on me. This film has a scene where Batman and the Punisher square off.
Do you bleed?
What, you think you're gonna send me to a nut house? Some doctor they're gonna get me to stop from doing what I want to do?
You will.
This is a very good film that's actually, in my opinion, somewhat marred by a couple of very distracting problems that are going to be very difficult for me to get into without engaging in wanton spoilers. Spoiler alert! I'm going to do my very best to try to keep this review as spoiler-free as possible. Ben Affleck stars as a man that has been dealing with a near debilitating autism condition that has kind of really plagued his entire life. He's also a math savant.
Your son is a remarkable young man. He has highly advanced cognitive skills. He has more in common with Einstein or Mozart than he does with us.
Throughout his life, he has taken a series of jobs cooking the books for various dangerous criminal organizations, and he uses the funds from those dangerous jobs and he funnels them so that he is a sort of an untraceable accounting entity for these criminal organizations. And he basically runs a series of front companies, one of which is just a basic standard order accountant to keep government agents like the Treasury Department off of his trail.
Say you're the head of the Sinaloa cartel. Who can you trust to track your stolen cash? He's capable of coming in cold, uncooking years of books, and getting out alive.
But there is one Treasury Department agent who's played in a very small but very crucial role and played very well by J.K. Simmons that has been hot on the heels of the so-called accountant and basically wants to bring him in.
So who is he?
The accountant.
Like a CPA accountant?
Not quite.
And J.K. Simmons brings in a young recruit that he hopes will help lend her own unique brand of expertise and combine it with his own to help discover the whereabouts of the accountant. And it also should be noted too that Affleck's character certainly has some very dark secrets and skeletons in his closet that he would like to keep secret.
You're different. Sooner or later, different scares people.
The Accountant has really been sort of rigidly and somewhat frustratingly been advertised as a Jason Bourne-ian sort of action thriller, and I guess it sort of is in a way, but it's really more of a compellingly rendered drama with elements of action in it. And you know, when the action beats do happen, they're pretty kick-ass, and Gavin O'Connor does a really good job with them. But
if their secrets get too big, killing you may be the cost of doing business. If you go down this road, you can't go back.
one thing that I took away from the film that I truly appreciated beyond the action was the fact that O'Connor is a very gifted director at honing in on, you know, quieter and more introspective moments between characters. And those are the moments that I took away most from The Accountant. I think that he does have some trouble early on with generating momentum. This is a very slow burn movie. It takes an awfully long time for it to really build to something serious and consequential, and the first 45 to 60 minutes of the film, I hate to say this, but they do kind of move at a snail's pace, and I was checking my watch a few times, so that's not particularly a good sign. However, I think the latter half of the film is certainly much better orchestrated and engineered than the first half. Ben Affleck, I'm telling you, man, he is an actor, like I alluded to earlier. He gets no end of guff from fanboys, but
hello darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again.
When he brings his A game and when he's got just the right material and right character to work with, he, I think, is as good as anybody. And the thing that impressed me the most about his work in The Accountant is that he plays an extremely troubled yet deeply emotionally internalized being. And I really liked how sort of focused and intensely undercranked his performance was. And it wasn't like flashy or over the top. It was really kind of a serenely powerful performance. It was a very strong less is more piece of acting from Affleck.
Get into financial consulting. How did you get into financial consulting? My dad was an accountant. You know, he had the whole shtick. The dorky pocket protector.
I have a pocket protector.
That's a nice one.
If this character was given to the wrong actor, I think it would have really made me cringe at the thought of the possibilities. But I think Affleck is much more sharply attuned with the type of character he's playing here, and he really understands how to bring that to the forefront. He really is a multifaceted character with a really rich and textured history. The film is almost kind of like an onion. You have to sort of peel away the layers upon layers of intrigue before you really get to the heart of who this particular guy is, what he does. Is he really a criminal, sociopathic killer, or does he do what he does for righteous reasons? And again, the longer you watch the film, the more you begin to question the moral fiber of his character. And I really like that whole interesting thematic angle of the film.
Who are you?
I also really like J.K. Simmons' performance. He has this one scene where he has to engage in a lot of expositional dialogue that really explains a lot of key particulars in the film. But man, he does such a good job at doing it. You're almost willing to forgive the film's somewhat prosaic scripting at moments like this. This kind of brings me to some of my problems with The Accountant, and there is a couple of plot twists in the film. There's one in particular that's really late breaking in the film where it comes off as stupendously silly and sort of out of left field, and I'm not sure how to process it. There's another plot twist in the film that involves and revolves around a relationship between two key characters. And the real problem with that, the character relationship is revealed fairly late in the film during a particularly intense standoff between these characters. It really doesn't have the power that it really should have, primarily because you can totally see it from a mile away. By about the first third or so of the film, you really begin to realize that there's a particular character that doesn't seem to be given a lot of significance in the plot, both in the present and in flashback sequences. And then when you start to, pull the pieces of this film together, by about the midway point, it's like, okay, I totally know who that guy is in relation to this guy. Accountant is one of those films that comes off as a little smug at times because it thinks it's smarter than the viewers. But I'm telling you, most articulate and smart viewers will be able to spot this particular plot twist by about the halfway mark. I don't think there's any question.
Some of my clients are quite dangerous.
Why would your clients follow you? You're an accountant. We have to go to the police.
Police can't protect you.
Part of me doesn't want to recommend The Accountant because of these two sort of insipidly handled plot twists, but you know what? The rest of the film really works. I mean, Ben Affleck gives such a stalwart and strong performance. I think he's flanked really well by J.K. Simmons. Anna Kendrick also shows up as another accountant in a very Anna Kendrickian part, if I can describe it as such, but she's quite good.
That's a nice one.
I like the whole focus on character dynamics and really probing into the central mysteries of this character. But again, those two plot twists just simply didn't work for me. I don't think ultimately that they were enough to really have a negative impact on my impression of the film as a whole. So I will say this, I think The Accountant is definitely worth seeing if you're willing to forgive a couple of these scripting indiscretions. So there you go, there's my review of The Accountant. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. Also, let me know in the comments what you think some of your favorite Ben Affleck films are. And trust me, there's a lot of good ones out there. I mean, not every film that he's going to be in is going to be as good as Phantoms.
But Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms.
Word, bitch. Phantom's like a motherfucker.
What's up now?
All right.
Once again, thank you very much for watching. If you could hit that like button, I'd appreciate it. Also, if you could hit that big red subscribe button, that would mean the world to me. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you at the movies.
Okay, they're talking about fictional characters. Fictional characters. Am I getting through to you?